is going to say how you're going to go about answering your question. What methodology does he use? Huh? Depth of historical analysis, he's comparing documents, he's comparing books. What else?
He starts from the top.
Huh? Grounded theory. He talks about that. By grounded theory, you mean very good. So yes, he's trying to apprehend modalities, cultural postures, locations from people who didn't leave written records necessarily. It's going to be grounded in the life experiences as he can identify them beyond the libraries. It's his methodology. It's a varied methodology. Some people might call it interdisciplinary. Whatever the hell that means. All right, at this point, I'm good. I think anytime you have a meeting at Howard, you should immediately open the meeting by playing the long version and talking out the side of your neck. Now let us begin the meeting. But at any rate, because I just don't know what it means. Somebody explain it to me. I'm just trying to get my mind around disciplinary. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know what I'm saying? For real. No, I'm saying, okay, I know you in education, and you in history, you in psychology, you in chemistry, and y'all all work together, so it's interdisciplinary. Because somebody really mapped the intellectual genealogy and modality of what that means? I didn't think so. So why are we even talking about it? Oh, I get it, because we got to cut some money out of something. This is what it really comes down to. It's all politics. Yeah. Grounded theory, I think, absolutely grounded in a range of experiences that go beyond the research. Now, he's trained as a political scientist. So what political scientists, what methodology are they trained to employ? Political scientists. What do you study? In terms of what is your unit of analysis to be social sciences about it? Individuals. Right. Groups, right? Groups in seeking what? Power. Right. Right? You know what political science is supposed to study? The group acquisition of resources and competition for resources or something. Am I overstating the case? It's been 20 years since I read an introduction to political science textbook. I know some political science majors in here. I'm sure you took Introduction to Political Science. Is that somewhere near like page 1, paragraph 1, sentence 1? I don't know. Y'all look closer to it than I am. But I had a disadvantage of TiVo and PlayStation, so I could actually read a book from any Help me. No, I'm not beating up on y'all. I'm just saying, you got a lot of obstacles. I mean, again, I'm trying to go through this and process where this came from at the same time. One of the challenges we have is that Howard is not every other school in the world. So when you talk about being a top 50 university, I don't know what the hell that means. Because some people at Howard, don't we agree, some students shouldn't be nowhere near a university. If you compare their numbers to the numbers of these blackface versions that these people try to ostensibly compare this university to. But if you come back in 4, 5, 6 years, I don't see all the employers coming to these other schools trying to hire those students. It's a difficult thing, because I don't expect that. I need to talk about this until we get attention. So, right. As a political scientist, he's looking at groups, but the groups he's looking at, he's not just looking at the traditional indices of how groups acquire power that a political scientist would look at. Because he has, as you say, grounded theory, because he's going beyond the library, he's not only looking historically at sources, he's looking at how groups acquire power in ways that cause him to have to look differently than any of the other academic fields. Hence, when you construct your methodology section for your research proposal, you're going to have to ground it in Africana studies, which means you're going to be looking at the same range of data that other people are looking at. You're going to be looking at other things other people don't look at, but you're going to be looking at all that stuff through a lens that's going to cause you to ask different questions. So if you're looking at in black thought in the diaspora, the Black Power era, you're not going to look at it the way a political scientist would look at it in terms of looking for the question, how did black people use black power to acquire power in American society? Or to improve their condition in American society? Is that the question you want? Is that really the question you're asking? That is a question to ask. But what was the objective of black people during the Black Power era? Saying to carve out space, right? To improve their life position, to certainly acquire tools for leveraging power in the United States, but ultimately, that's not the ultimate objective.
One of the things was self-love, self-assurance, and self-respect that wasn't really being taught.
That is an interesting observation on any number of levels. Because we frequently hear that one of the objectives of black movements in non-black societies, Ron Walters talks about that, doesn't he? Is the reestablishment of self-esteem, the assertion of identity, the use of identity as an empowering tool, and all those things are true, but what might they presume if we're not careful? They may presume that there's an anti-element, absolutely, and that is one of the large pools of scholarship that becomes almost worthless in terms of our using it to extend that scholarship, because Robinson deals with that, doesn't he, with regard to anti-white violence, or the lack thereof. It's not about that. Yes. What else? Well, the idea of assertions of black identity or black pride somehow are against white pride, or response to, like a black. That's what I mean. It's disturbing. Yes, I think if we're not careful, that's what we're gonna slide into here at the Negro College. Well, we've been in it for 140 years. I think we're gonna reinscribe it, perhaps. Yes.
Well, doesn't Walter say that in his book?
What's that?
That Pan-Africanism is basically a negation of Pan-Europeanism?
It is a negation politically, but the source in terms of what people are after, it may be a negation as a consequence of the effort, but the objective was not negation, except perhaps for the creation of space. What do I mean by that? Again, as a detox.
And its ultimate goal was it to, separate itself from Pan-Europeanism, that in its process, or in its process of explaining itself, it negates itself from Pan-Europeanism.
Right, exactly. His goal wasn't to negate it, but in explaining itself and asserting itself, that negation occurs. We ought to say, we ain't gonna write no damn research proposal. We all gonna write about academic renewal at Howard. Boy, when that turn the tables on this. Shouldn't it? Nah, because the amount of work it would take for you all to get. Go ahead. Yes. There's a cult, and that's it. The cult. Okay, I'm close to being tempted by this, but no, really. Let me tell you why. Because the space I was looking for, in terms of what you said, in terms of this assertion, the presumption often is that black people didn't have self-respect. Now, generally speaking, could we say that's true? Right now.
Yes. Look at our movies.
Yeah, popular culture notwithstanding. Go get a random sample of black people between here and the metro. And ask yourself, do they have self-respect?
They do.
Don't ask yourself, what is the quality of the education they receive? Don't ask yourself what the socioeconomic condition is. Ask yourself, does this person